Tá sibh go léir fáilte chuig gradam an bhéra gá bhíle agus a fithe héan. You're very welcome to the Mayor's Awards for Galway City for 2021. Tonight we're going to be celebrating the voluntary activity in community life in Galway City. And I'd like to very much welcome you all to our virtual studio. Things have changed in the last year. Things have changed considerably in the last year. The Mayor's Awards have been running for 17 or 18 years, but we're keeping it going, and I'm delighted to be joined by the Mayor of the City of Galway, Mike Cupboard. Before I hand over to him to say a few opening remarks, my name is Gary Mcmahon from Galway City Council, and there's a huge team who've been working on the virtual Mayor's Awards for this year. We have 9 awards, many of the same categories as in previous years, but we have a slightly different way of celebrating them. And we would like to thank everyone who went to the trouble of nominating people across the city of Galway for the variety of different activities that they've been involved in, particularly in the last year. And there's a particular emphasis, obviously, this year as we look back over the last 12 to 15 months of what our city has done and what people have done on behalf of the city and the community in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. Without further ado, and I'll come back in some details in a little while, I'm going to hand you over to the Mayor of the City of Galway, Councillor Mike Cupboard. Mayor.
Margaret Gary. I didn't usually. I'll find your row go lair Trinona. Ladies and gentlemen, you're all very welcome to this year's Mayor's Awards virtual ceremony. Over the last 18 months, the community and voluntary sector came to the fore more than ever in response to COVID-19. Under the umbrella of the Galway City COVID-19 Community Response Forum, community and voluntary groups and individuals from right across our city stepped up to aid the most vulnerable when they needed it most. I'm extremely proud that we have all come together as a community to support one another, as we would like to celebrate all our unsung heroes and the extraordinary acts of kindness that we have seen. I would like to welcome you, the nominees to this year's Mayor's Awards, and also welcome the people who nominated you. Each of you have responded in a special way to the challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic. A little later, I will speak at a bit more length about the spirit of volunteerism in our city, which these awards embody, and to honour all the community groups and volunteers who proved that our community spirit burns bright in the city of Galway. Gormail Give Galer.
Before we move into the first of the categories, I'd like to point out how we're going to run things tonight. We've had over 75 different nominees under the 9 different categories that we have for the Mayor's Awards. And the Mayor does a huge amount of work on this, but he doesn't do it alone. And he has been aided in the assessment of the many nominations by a judging panel. Before each category, one of the members of the judging panel will introduce that particular category. You'll also get to see who has been on the judging panel. So they will introduce the category, then we'll come back. I will go through the list of nominees and the reasons why they were nominated very briefly. And that category will receive a trophy, the example of which is here in the studio with us. And they're between myself and the Mayor. And most important, not most importantly, but quite importantly, each winner will receive a cheque of the value of €500. Now, we won't be running around the town tonight. The Mayor has another appointment at 8 o'clock. But in the coming days, the winners will receive their cheques and the awards. So without further ado, and we'll try not to delay things too much, I'm going to hand over to the first of our introducers, who's Councillor Neil McNeilis, the chair of the Economic, Community and Culture SPC of Galway City Council, to introduce the Arts, Culture, Heritage and Cuasaí Gaeilge Award. Dan Gradam Alien Culture Irica Agus Cuasaí Gaeilge.
Galway City has long been blessed with courageous and innovative people who saw opportunities where others only saw obstacles. This award celebrates the contribution of volunteers throughout 2020 to the continuing development of Galway as a city that places the arts, culture and the natural
of this recipient, we've seen our city with new eyes. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to see what is special about a particular place, to recognise and discover the beauty which locals take so much for granted, and in fact, may not even notice anymore. The recipient of this award provided the people of Galway with remarkable, often breathtaking photographs, both online and as part of the first exhibition in Galway City under the COVID-19 Together campaign. This was a fantastic way to share the delightful sights and beautiful sceneries throughout Galway, especially for those who were cocooning, those isolating, and when all of us were restricting our movements. The recipient ensured our elderly. It was also a good way of communication and a connection to a home for family and friends we all have living abroad. In recognition of his generosity, of time and celebration of talent that has made the dark days of lockdown just that bit brighter, and for capturing and showcasing the beauty of photography that he has made freely accessible to all. The 2020 Arts, Culture, Heritage and Corsi Gaeilge Award goes to Dr. Xiaosheng Jiang.
Thank you, Mayor. And congratulations to Xiaosheng Jiang, who is not on the screen beside me, but I think he might be in the green room of his. We're hoping that we can be able to connect. We have various members, nominees, who are there. Dr. Jiang, Xiaosheng Jiang, congratulations.
Yes. Thank you very much.
I think you're actually in front of one of your own pictures, are you? That's the background in your picture.
Yes.
Xiaosheng, you've been for the last year seen, and I'm just looking today, getting up really early at night and in the morning, wandering the streets late at night, taking these fabulous photographs of the city.
And sometimes get up early. Most of the time I still sleep very late.
But that one, for instance, the way the light is on that on the iconic Black Rock Tower, that was obviously taken very early in the morning.
Oh yes, it's very early and it's very calm and there's no wind and it's just sunrise, really nice. It was so amazing.
You're obviously a very, very keen photographer, and you're a hobbyist. You're a hobby photographer. You're not a professional photographer.
Amateur, pure amateur.
But you're in the daytime. Once you get past the dawn of taking the dawn photographs, you're on the academic staff on NUI Galway in the geography department.
Yes, I think that this hobby helps to relax, because I work very hard during daytime. So normally in the evening or early morning, I have a little bit of time to relax.
One of the key things about this, and which really impressed the judging panel, and there was you had a couple of different people who nominated you, was the fact that you've basically offered your photographs for free use to people in Galway, to Galway City Council, but to anyone, and I know to your colleagues in NUIG, to share the photographs, to enjoy the photographs, and to use them as they're being used at the moment on this, what we've become so familiar with in the last year, which is virtual meetings, and use them as backgrounds and which they showcase Galway. It's a very generous act.
Thank you. In fact, I'm very delighted that people like my photos, because I find in that case my photos are useful. Instead of I just save it in my hard drive and it stay there idle, nobody use it. I'm very delighted that somebody likes, like it and use them.
And of course, we had the exhibition of prints of your photographs in the Ayr Square Centre in the autumn last year.
Yes, I was really honored and really delighted. And I know it helps a lot of people. I think quite a lot of people in America and I think abroad, they messaged me, just make them homesick.
Okay, right. Well, it would, but it's amazing how many people in Galway get homesick for Galway when they're actually still in Galway. We all wish we were up in the prom, but anyway, we don't. Listen, very congratulations, Xiaosheng, and thank you again for your contribution to the city, which is entirely voluntary. And with that, I'm just going to say, the mayor's just going to say Thank you, I think. And
Yes, Dr. Jan, good to see you again, and congratulations on your award. I suppose, to take what Gary said briefly, I remember the day we launched the exhibition in Air Square, in the Air Square Centre, and the array of colour, and I certainly would say, don't undersell yourself by saying that you're only amateur, because your work is fantastic and is matched any professional I've seen. So be proud of your work. It's done Trojan work for the last number of months and for Galway. And well done, congratulations. And I'll see you very soon with your award and your cheque.
Thank you, Mayor. It's really my great honor.
okay, thank you very much. And
Okay.
we,
There's a button next to it saying start video.
Oh,
Or
stop,
join,
stop videos on it.
okay. I mean, we're hearing a little bit of feedback here. We're going to move on to the next category, which is Residents and Local Areas Awards. And we're going to have an introduction to this from the chair of the Local Community Development Committee, Elaine Harvey.
Community living in the city is strengthened by the work which individuals and groups undertake across a range of activities in local areas to enhance the environment in which they live. This award recognises that contribution throughout 2020. The recipient of this award has long since recognised the importance of people engaging with others in their community to improve conditions for all their neighbours.
Thank you, Elaine. And the 9 nominees in the category of Residents and Local Areas Awards are Ballyban Community Garden for their dedicated group of volunteers from the local community who have brought positivity and well-being during 2020 when it was much needed during difficult times on the east side of the city. Second nominee, and it will happen a couple of times, the second nominee was Dr. Zhang, who was actually nominated in this category as well. Our third nominee is David Newman for his initiative, voluntary work and determination in supporting the local community and local businesses throughout COVID-19. The fourth nominees are the people of Galway Cat Rescue. It's an all-volunteer group of animal lovers who are committed to helping homeless cats in neighbourhoods across the city, and they also have an educational role with young people in the area of animal welfare. Our fifth nominee here in this category of Residents and Local Area Awards is Martina Murray. Martina is nominated for a great example of her endless amount of pride in her local community of Renmore, and in particular in keeping the area of Renmore, Murrow and Ballyloughlin clean and litter-free for over 20 years. Martina leads by example, according to the denominator, and she comes coming out to clean up no matter if it's hail, rain or shine. Our sixth nominee in this category is Michael Tully, and he's nominated for his energy and enthusiasm and dedication to the Merlin Woods local area. Most recently, during 2020, he worked on moving forward the redevelopment of the Merlin Woods allotments and making them a welcoming, active local community area for everybody's benefit. The seventh nominee is Richard Matthew for providing help and support to undergraduate students and giving online and financial guidance to students throughout the year. Our second last nominees in this category are the Rossard Kappa Road Residents Association, who are nominated for their continued hard work on keeping their residential area look so well. They're building on an active residents association and building a real community feel while keeping local residents connected and safe during COVID-19. And finally, Theresa Daly is nominated in this category of residents and local areas for her dedication and passion in helping the local community, in particular those most in need, and going above and beyond to make their day and see a smile on their face. And I'm going to hand over to the Mayor, who's going to announce who is the recipient of the Residents and Local Areas Awards.
The recipient of this award is an individual who has been a driving force in her local area for over 20 years. This person has long since recognised the importance of people engaging with others in their community to improve conditions for all their neighbours, and has been very active in supporting her local community. Her energy, drive and determination is an inspiration to all who have the pleasure to know and work with her, and has been inspiring to many new volunteers this past few decades. In recognition of her never-ending dedication, of attitude, caring disposition, and in particular for her dedication to improving the quality of life for the residents of Renmore and the surrounding areas. The 2020 Residents and Local Area Award goes to Martina Murray.
Congratulations to Martina Murray, winner of the Residents and Local Areas Awards. I think Martina is... Martina, how are you? Good evening. Congratulations. Okay, you may be muted at the moment. Oh, we're having a wiggle. Anyway, Martina, I don't know if we can be able to hear you.
Can you hear there?
I can hear someone.
There you go.
Yeah, talk now.
No, Martina, can you... Hello, how are you?
Hello there.
Good evening, how are you? And you're sitting with sunny Renmore behind you, I take it.
Yes, yes, in a neighbour's house.
Listen, congratulations on the award. It's well deserved. At
Thank you
least
very
20
much.
years on the roads and byways of Renmore and that area and the vicinity, cleaning up, tidying up. You go out hail, rain and shine, they say. Why
Yes.
is that? Why do you do it?
Oh, just I don't like to see the place with a lot of rubbish that shouldn't be there. But we have to put up with that. But someone has to do it. So I just walk around with the dog and pick up as I go.
A little bird told me that not only do you walk around, pick it up, you gather it up and you bring it home and you put it in your own bin.
Oh, yes. I don't think the corporation would say much about that. They'd just be glad to get it there.
I don't ever really want to speak on behalf of the corporation, as you call us, but we're delighted that, and it's people like you who make places like Renmore so wonderful to live in, and you add to the community. And the great thing about it, Martina, is that people are actually, your neighbours have nominated you in relation to this, and because they see your dedication to your local area. So congratulations. There's a small matter of a cheque of €500.
Thank you very much.
It'll be making its way to you. Listen, we'll leave it at that. We're having other things coming up on the screen here. Martina, congratulations. I'll just hand over briefly to the mayor to say a couple of words. I think you're gone. I think she's gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, right. Yes, we're hearing in the background. Please bear with us, by the way, that this is my first time ever doing this. We've done this in the radio. We've done this on the stage of the Radisson Hotel. We've done this on the stage of the Black Box Theatre. But this is the first time we've done it with live cameras in front of us. So things can go wrong, and Zoom, as everyone in the whole world knows, and not just Zoom, other video conferencing facilities also exist. Sometimes they let us down. Just before I go on, and I know I'm going to get stuck for time, I'd like to welcome all the people who are viewing this, not just the nominees and their nominators, but all the people across Galway who are watching it, but also people from around the world who are actually watching it, people in the UK, people in the States, from our twin cities, sister cities, in California, in Chicago, on the East Coast, from people in Spain, how are you, Danny, and to people elsewhere all over the place. So you're very welcome, and bear with us. We're getting through it. We're moving on to the third category, which is the community service and social inclusion. Now, this award is split into two. There's an individual award, and there is a group award. But there's a video here featuring the mayor, Mike Cupboard, and he's going to explain the reasons behind this award.
Volunteers are unique people, and these individuals epitomise everything that is at the heart of volunteering. This group of like-minded people come together to provide invaluable services within our communities. They are there for members of the community in a time when the most vulnerable need their support. This award acknowledges the broad spectrum of community activities that take place across Galway City. It also recognises the voluntary contribution of groups who have worked so tirelessly throughout this COVID-19 pandemic to ensure those most vulnerable within our communities are supported.
And there are 17 nominees in the individual award section of the Community Service and Social Inclusion Award. They are Danny Darcy. Danny, who I just said hello to, is in the Canaries in Tenerife, but he has a native of Renmore, actually, and he's a singer-songwriter. But weekly, throughout the pandemic, he's been providing entertainment, music sessions free of charge, making a great effort to reach out to those in isolation and living alone, and has built a great audience in Galway for people watching virtually on a Saturday night. Deborah Carr is nominated for her clear passion for helping others and endless amount of voluntary work with Claddagh Watch, who provide patrols along our city's waterways. Eamon Cunnis is nominated for his engagement with the Galway community, providing music and a weekly show free of charge and also online, but also reaching out to those who are in the greatest need, alone or afraid, over the last year. Our next nominee is Islamiyah Zodiac for her commitment, skills, passion for inclusion and energy in promoting the human rights of the migrant community and giving them a voice. Our fifth nominee in this category is Jason Sherlock. He's an active community leader, and his commitment to helping others and always thinking of new ways to support people in need, and his voluntary effort in fundraising activities is recognised, particularly for the work with a number of groups in the city. Kevin Nugent is nominated for his generosity in providing free meals to frontline workers, in particular hospital staff during COVID-19, and for his voluntary effort in fundraising activities which were much needed and appreciated by a number of local charities. That's both in Newcastle and in Salthill. Lindsay Fallon is nominated for a consistent contribution and her great dedication to the Order of Malta Ambulance Corps in Merview, voluntary serving communities and reaching out to the most vulnerable and disadvantaged during the last year. Maggie Hall is nominated for her inclusive work and dedication with the Galway Sanctuary Runners during the last year, promoting solidarity, respect and friendship between people living in direct provision and providing support to people so they can get out and get a walk in or a run together on an equal footing. Our next nominee is Mary Joyce Lynn, and she's nominated for her enormous effort and love of wildlife over several decades with the Galway and Claddagh Swan Rescue, going above and beyond in her voluntary contributions, caring for wildlife in Galway and for looking after the local community. Michael Tully is nominated again in this category for his voluntary work, and particularly in relation to the allotments in Merlin Woods. Patricia Gallagher is nominated. She's a brilliant neighbour in Bournemore, the nominator told us, for her continuous efforts and support in ensuring that local vulnerable and older residents were provided with practical supports during the COVID-19 pandemic. Regina Flynn is a Galway Trócaire volunteer, and her passionate, selfless and tireless work, through that she does a lot of work for others. She connects with schools and parishes across the city, and she's kept them informed and engaged on issues around social justice in the community. Sean Harty is nominated for his outstanding efforts, his voluntary work and his commitment with community-based alcohol treatment services in the city. Steve O'Timothy is nominated again, this time in this category of community service and social inclusion, in particular for his work with the Irish Wheelchair Association over the last year. Suzanne McLean is nominated for her amazing work with Roosevelt's Rooms, which is a Galway originating child loss project that is reaching out to bereaved parents and families all across Ireland. Tanya Vaux is nominated for her time and dedication as a volunteer in a number of roles with a number of different groups across the city, helping those who are most vulnerable in their local communities and for being an inspiration to others. And the final nominee in this category is Una Reynolds for her efforts and ongoing support with the Hygiene Bank Galway, a grassroots group of volunteers working to alleviate the pressure of hygiene poverty felt by many families across the city when financial struggles mean that food, rent and bills are prioritised over hygiene products. I'm going to hand over to the Mayor, who's going to tell us. Congratulations to Mary Joyce Lynn. I think she's going to join. I think she's here. Mary? I will to anseo. Mary, how are you? Congratulations. Oh. You raised the glass. Fair play to you. You're getting in ahead of the game. I think you might be muted at the moment, but we'll get that sorted in just a second. You can hear me, I think. We can't hear you just yet. Well, thumbs up. There you are.
Thank
There
you
you
so
are.
much for the award. On my own behalf and on behalf of our team, we're very proud to have been nominated and delighted. So we have a wonderful team and we enjoy what we do, and we hope that we're educating the public and helping everybody. And it's a particularly busy time of year for us now, with all the orphans and the fledglings and everything that we're rearing.
You've a huge dedication to this, and it's not just swans you rescue. In the nomination, can I just read out a list of some of the things that you have rescued? Mute swans, whooper swans, herring gulls, black-headed gulls, hooded crows, rooks, magpies, mallard ducks, grey herons, grebes, gannets, manx shearwaters, fulmars, razorbills, feral pigeons, wood pigeons, and collared doves, among other things, and a partridge in a pear tree, by the sound of it.
That's right. Thank you. Yes, all of those and more.
This award is for you, Mary. It's obviously in recognition of the work that of the Galway Swan Rescue, but particularly your work in terms of doing it. Did you realise when you started on this, about 20 years ago, with the Swan Rescue?
Yes, in 2001.
That you'd still be at it and you'd still be doing this, and with the facilities that you, I know, at times struggled to maintain.
Yes, and we're very lucky that we have a sanctuary in Laflarti Park, courtesy of Galway City Council. We much appreciate that, and it's a great focal point for local people to come and visit. And when we're there, we explain to the children and the adults all about our residents, and they learn a lot.
Well, listen, congratulations. The mayor will be, well, I don't know if the mayor personally will be out with the cheque, but we'll get the cheque to you. But before we go, the mayor might just want to say a couple of words.
Thanks, Gary. Mary, how are you? Congratulations on your award. It's decades of work that you've been doing. And by chance, I bumped into Mary a few days back and didn't mention the awards, but just asked Mary if she was busy at the moment. And she mentioned the fledglings and a nesting season and people renovating homes. And I asked Mary where she keeps a lot of these birds, and she said in the house if needs be. So it's not just a sanctuary that's working hard. Mary's actually doing it in her own time as well. So I think, Mary, you're a very deserving recipient, and be very proud. And yes, Gary, I'll be making a personal visit to all the award winners. So my colleague here, Rory, is putting a map in place for me to travel around the city to meet everybody in the coming days. So I'll see you soon, Mary.
Thank you so much, and thank you to my nominator.
Thank you again, Mary, and congratulations. Moving right along, we're going to go into the second half of this community service and social inclusion category, and that's the group award. We have 14 nominees in this category. Start off. The first nominee are the Age Action IT tutors.
Right.
Who?
The video first.
Sorry?
No.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Before we go to there, I actually have we have to go to it. No, there isn't another video. Sorry, there isn't. We're going straight into these nominees. Sorry, Mayor. Small confusion here. So the first nominees on the group category of these community service and social inclusion are, as I said, the Age Action IT tutors, and they're being for their adaptation, willingness to change, and giving so generously of their time over the last year, particularly to older people, offering tutoring and mentoring over the phone or by video call, and introducing them, older people, to the internet and to things like Zoom and Teams and other platforms. The Ballinfoyle Moor Organic Community Garden and Ballinfoyle Foróige project are nominated for their intergenerational effort that helped to bring real positivity into the lives of older people over the last year. Best Buddies NUI Galway are a dedicated team of dedicated and enthusiastic students who worked tirelessly to stay connected during COVID-19, and they adapted and successfully delivered their friendship program under the Best Buddies program to end social, physical and economic isolation of young adults in our communities with intellectual disabilities. BPW Galway, the Business and Professional Women's Association, are nominated for their dedication to remain open which is a struggle in itself in the last year, but also to continue to be supportive during the pandemic and their motivation in learning new skills to share, educate and give a voice to women, not just to their members but also to the wider community. Our next group nominated is the Cope Galway Community Catering Volunteers. These incredible volunteers give their vital contribution by continuing to delivering meals and services across the city, stepping up to the mark and valuing, caring and supporting older people, particularly in the last year. Nominated under this category are the frontline healthcare workers for their dedication and care for taking on an unprecedented workload at the frontline of the pandemic. Also nominated under this category are the Galway Cat Rescue, who were nominated in an earlier category, and they're nominated for their resilience as a group in terms of what they deliver. The Galway Volunteer Centre community called Shopping Volunteers. That's not a thing that existed a year ago, but it does now, and they've responded to the COVID-19 community call and have been ensuring that the most vulnerable among us in our communities have got practical assistance in organising weekly shopping, medication to be delivered, delivering the messages basically, with great care, friendliness and warmth. The Galway Rape Crisis Centre Volunteer Psychological Support and Counselling Services is nominated for giving so freely of their time and specialist care to provide a confidential counselling service and psychological support in a caring and accessible and safe environment. HelpLink Mental Health are nominated for their voluntary work and commitment in supporting the mental health of children, young people and adults throughout the last year. The Ladies Virtual Hangout and their passion through Zoom for ladies to connect and talk about various topical issues is the reason why they have been nominated. They share fears, concerns, stories, and in doing so, help one another to overcome and stay stronger and plan for the future. Next nominees are the Oranmore Mary Coastal Search Unit, and although based in Oranmore Mary, their service they provide is right around Galway Bay, including, unfortunately, when they're called on the beaches and the shorelines of Galway City. They provide a support to families in need, in addition to providing much needed and invaluable comfort to families who've been traumatised at various times over the last year and over the last number of years. The RNLI Galway Lifeboat Volunteer Crews are nominated for their dedication to our city during 2020, and it saw this crew getting busier and busier throughout the year. Their life-saving work is essential, and it's often difficult and sometimes dangerous, and they're available, of course, 365 days a year. The final nominees in this category are the Chalk Solace Drop-In Volunteers for their rapid response to the call out for assistance under the community call by the Amok LGBT plus Galway to help those through who needed it through the challenging times, particularly in the LGBT plus community. They bring a fresh approach and perspective, and they every week throughout the lockdown provided a virtual drop-in every Saturday morning. They're the nominees under the category of Community Service and Social Inclusion Group Award. I think the adjudication panel really had their work cut out, and the Mayor is now going to announce who the recipients of this award are.
Thank you, Gary. Volunteers are unique people, and these individuals epitomise everything that is at the heart of volunteering. This group of like-minded people came together at the very beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic to provide an invaluable service within our community, a listening ear, and much-needed social interaction to those they supported. They are there for members of our community at the time when they are at their most vulnerable and need the most support. They volunteer each day, accepting multiple assignments, one after the other, on foot or on bike. From early in the morning to late in the evening each day, every assignment was delivered without question, no matter the hour, no matter the inconvenience, and always to support the cause. For their unwavering commitment and dedication to helping people in our community. For their work in helping those who were vulnerable, elderly, and self-isolating during the pandemic. and in particular for the positive support they gave when they came into contact with the 2020 Community Service and Social Inclusion Group Award goes to the Galway Volunteer Centre, community called Shoppers. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the Volunteer Centre community called Shoppers and their team, their cadre of volunteers. I think we're going to be joined by Tim O'Toole. Tim, how are you? Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's been a busy year doing a thing that was never really thought that had to be done. Oh, thunderous applause.
It's been 14 or 15 months, and this group of volunteers has been doing shopping for well over a year. It's been very exciting.
The community call was set up in March of last year under the kind of the umbrella of Galway City Council, but bringing in all sorts of statutory and voluntary and community-based organisations, and particularly the Galway Volunteer Centre were involved, and you guys just stepped up, and you're involved in a number of other volunteer groups as well, Tim, and you brought them all in as well. The blood bikes, I think you're involved in that, and I think you're involved with Serve the City as well.
Yes, there's just a few, maybe 6, if I could share the names of some of the main ones: Ruth Geaver, Sarah Anthony, Robert Connolly, Pat and Bernie Healy, Dave O'Leary, and the team at Blood Bike West, and all the GAA club volunteers. So there have been quite a few people that have been busy for the last year.
And it's still going on to an extent. There are still people who are medically vulnerable, who are still awaiting the full rollout of the vaccine program, and you're still going.
Yes, still going. A lot of our people that we help have had their first jab and are waiting on the second. So in the meantime, we're just helping them to transition and finish, giving a hand however we can. All
right. Well, listen, congratulations. It's a really well-deserved award. Mayor?
Tim, good to see you. Congrats to yourself and your group, and you might pass on my regards to everybody. I've seen the work firsthand that you've done this year, and as you said, beyond that, 15 months now. And I've seen people, I met people who were in their 80s and 90s who could not leave their home for obviously isolation and so on. And I've seen them come to tears with gratitude for what you've done and your team have done for them. So look, on behalf of myself and my colleagues, thank you for what you're doing, what you're continuing to do. It's made a huge impact on the people of Galway.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Tim. We're now moving on to the Older Person Volunteer of the Year Award, and I'm going to hand over to Nicola Tierney from Age Action, West Side Age Action, and also representing Galway City Community Network, who's on the judging panel. So, to Nicola.
There is no substitution for experience, and this award acknowledges the many and varied volunteering activities carried out by the older members of our society. This input of our older citizens is fundamental in our development as a vibrant and wonderful city. And this award recognises the contribution of the community by people over the age of 65 throughout 2020, either as an individual or in groups.
Thanks, Nicola. And Nicola is, of course, with Westside Age Inclusion, just to get the name of her organisation correct. There are 2 nominees nominated jointly in this. It's kind of a gimme. So the 2 nominees are Conor Donovan and Martin Crowley. They're nominated together for their lifetime of consistent volunteering with numerous community groups and initiatives within the Merview area. They continue as stalwart volunteers, and they support many within their local community and did so throughout the last year. And they represent the strength of the older generation and have kept going despite COVID-19, the lockdowns and everything that we've had to put up with. So to announce who might be the winners of this award, I'll hand over to the Mayor.
Thank you, Gary. This year we are celebrating 2 outstanding volunteers in this category. There is no substitute for experience, and this award acknowledges the many and varied volunteering activities carried out by the older members of our society. These individuals have both served their community with distinction and have brought great energy to the Merview area. Proving no job is too big for them, they've always embraced and taken on a variety of roles. They've both worked tirelessly over the years to improve the quality of life for all in their neighbourhood, by using sport, training, and even fundraising in the background. For their generosity of spirit and the respect they have shown others, for representing hope for us all during 2020, and for their willingness to get involved and the belief that age is only but a number, and we should all live life to the full. The 2020 Older Person Volunteer of the Year award jointly goes to Conor Donovan and Martin Crowley. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Con and to Martin, and I think I'm joined on Zoom by Martin. Martin, congratulations. Just give it a second, hopefully the sound will come through. We can't hear you just for the moment. Oh, hang on, there is someone beside you. Is that Con? No? Anyway. Our technical whizzes are desperately trying to unmute you at the moment. No. Oh, unfortunately, the audio is not working on that. Let me ask you a question and then I'll answer it. So, Conan Martin, how long have you been doing this? Forever. Who have you been doing it with? Macra the Firma, Community Games, the Pioneer Movement, Credit Union up in Merview, Connacht Rugby, Legion of Mary. You do stuff in the hall up there. You're doing stuff, you're helping out in the church. Am I right? Nod.
Gary.
Ah, there you are. But fair play to you, Martin. Sorry about that. Now you're there.
Can you hear me, Gary?
I can hear you now.
Grand. Well, listen, Gary, this is Martin Crowley here.
I know.
My guiding light would be Conor Donovan. Now, Con is a very active and staunch member of the Pioneer Association for, I think, most of his life. But I am not. But there again, I remember many the night I used to have a drink down in our favourite haunt at the top of Dominic Street with someone that you know and I remember well.
All right.
Yes. Now, Mr. Mayor, I thank you most sincerely. Community was in my roots in the Claddagh in 1940. That's where it all started. And I'm relocated to this other side of town for the past 50 years, but nevertheless, things have never changed. Community is so much a part of all our lives here in Galway, but especially when we come to localized. And the parish is the traditional base of all our roots.
Martin, you're also, and you're proudly wearing your club, I see your club crest on your jacket.
Oh,
Yourself and Conor are very involved at St. James's GA in Merview. Well, it's based in Merview. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when we were Merview GA, and then in 1994 we amalgamated with our neighbouring parish, Rinmore, and hence we became eventually under the title of St. James's GA Club, which we're proud of all this eastern part of the city that we represent.
Listen, all I can hope for is that yourself and Con can figure out the check for 500. How are you going to split it? And what side of the corrup you're actually going to spend your share? Obviously, Con, being a member of the Pioneers, his is not going to be wasted in any way. Yours is going to be wasted, and some of it, I hope, in a good way. And some of it maybe down in the Dominic Street area and back towards your native Claddagh.
Well, one of my pet fundraising efforts would be to help fundraising for St. James's Cemetery, not St. James's GA Club necessarily. Con is a wonderful fundraiser on that account, but St. James's Cemetery, which is here and goes back to the 14th century here in Merview. And we were very lucky last year to have the presence of our mayor there when Katie Taylor unveiled a monument to one of our people that was buried there but unknown to be where he lay.
I remember as well. Listen, Martin, congratulations to yourself and to Con. I'm just going to hand over briefly to the mayor.
Thank you, Gary.
Martin,
oh, hang on. Sorry, I didn't realise. Con is actually coming in on another. He's on another Zoom call. Sorry.
Great.
Sorry, Martin. We're going to put you to one side, and Con is
grand.
going to come in, and I'll have the conversation with Con about the about what I haven't talked about with you. So, Martin, congratulations, and we'll talk to Con now.
Grand, and thank you.
Con, how are you? Congratulations. Again, we're having a bit of trouble with the audio. Con, I don't know if you heard Martin. He was singing your praises, and in particular, and your dedication to the pioneer movement. But he immediately disavowed himself of actually have ever been a pioneer. But between the two of you, for years and years and years, for 40 years at least, you've been up in the Merview greater area. You've been involved in an awful lot of activities.
55 years actually.
55? Are you that long at it?
Yeah. And this week, our even drive, I live at number 8, Martin lives at number 6, and Maureen O'Brien, who was promoted to Major General in the Army, lives at number 2. So it's a very exciting week in our even drive.
It is. It definitely is. Listen, what motivated you, or is it just something in you that you have always been involved in various different groups, whether it's the Mocker and the Firma, or on your own with the St James's Cemetery or the club or whatever? It sounds like you had it in you to basically be volunteers and just to get involved.
Well, I always enjoyed working with people and got great commitment from them, and you had to return it by showing what could be done. And the response in the local community has been brilliant all those years, and it's stronger than ever now at 2021, which is surprising. But to see the amount of young people we have now involved in coaching and in helping out is huge. We have hundreds of kids every weekend now playing, so we're really enjoying it as much as ever.
And the thing is, yourself and Martin, although you're not in the first flush of youth, and a lot of your peers would have been kind of basically wouldn't have been able to go out last year, but you kept going safely, I know, but you kept going throughout the year last year in terms of a lot of the activities.
Oh yes, and we've had many supporters down the years, and their families are still very supportive, so it's a great pleasure to work with them all those activities, in no matter where they're involved, whether it's in football games or athletic.
And for ensuring fundraising efforts were maintained throughout the last year, in addition to his player support and ensuring safety throughout the entire year. Brendan Laflarti is nominated for his commitment and dedication for his time with the West Karate Club and the West Wheelchair Karate Club. All have done on a voluntary basis, supporting students and adults of all ages and abilities to continue to train over the last year. For her dedication and diligence and professionalism as a volunteer, working with the Galway Senior Ladies Gaelic football team, Ciara Moran is nominated, and the Galway Ladies team successfully participated in all the All-Ireland series and giving joy and entertainment to Galwegians here and abroad. Joe Cochran is nominated for giving his time so freely to Titans Basketball Club. He's been doing it for years, and he continued to do it last year, encouraging players of all abilities, young and old, and providing support and inspiration to other coaches in the club. Joe O'Reilly is nominated for his efforts and the support he gives as a coach and mentor in football. Kevin Dowling is nominated for his enormous effort, his energy, and his 100% commitment to the Special Olympics swimming athletes during the last year, keeping them busy during lockdown through a range of online activities, ensuring the return to swimming, when that was allowed, will have a stronger team spirit and a greater bond between them. Rosemary Kilalay is nominated for all her voluntary activities with Galway United Football Club and with the Friends Co-op. Her tireless commitment to the club and her promotion of volunteering is recognised with such enthusiasm that it makes her role a model for all. And finally, the final nominee in this category is the Road to Recovery group. That's ROW, Road to Recovery, for their collective achievement, their positivity, their can-do attitude, and it takes them out of their comfort zones and helps them push the boundaries in a safe, supportive and empowering environment in rowing boats. And I will now hand over to the Mayor, who will announce the recipients of this award.
Thanks, Gary. This award recognises the valuable work the volunteers and clubs make to their local community and to the city through their involvement in sports and sporting organisations. Involvement in sport brings many benefits, not just physical, but also psychological. People out there who have taken part in any sport will recall with fondness the camaraderie and that welcome feeling of well-being that accompanied it at the time. It is fair to say that this year's winner fought off truly remarkable competition to win this award. The award winner this year has shown a dedication and commitment to raising awareness of the benefits of regular exercise, especially amongst cancer survivors within our community. Through sport, this group offer a unique opportunity for recoverees to meet and to row twice a week, building up their strength, their mindsets, and allows those participating develop new friendships with others going through a similar recovery experience. For their vision in providing a unique and holistic approach to healing the spiritual, mental and physical well-being of those affected by cancer treatment through the sport of rowing. For their endless enthusiasm, energy and yes we can attitude, and for their voluntary work which they have dedicated their valuable time to. The 2020 Sports Volunteer of the Year Award goes to Road to Recovery. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Road to Recovery, the winners of the Sports Volunteers of the Year. And I think we're joined by Robin Winkle. Robin, how are you? Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm really honoured to be here on behalf of everyone from Road to Recovery.
Tell me a little bit of how Road to Recovery started.
Road to Recovery started with just a small group of women who had undergone treatment for breast cancer and heard about the benefits of physical activity in recovering from the cancer. So specifically, they'd heard about dragon boating, which is very big in North America. It's not possible in Galway on our river, so we just kind of adapted it to rowing boats, and we joined a great tradition of rowing on the River Corrib. And
you're linked in with Galway Rowing Club down in Woodkey.
Galway Rowing Club has been great hosts to us over the past few years, and yes, we've rented boats and equipment for them. We've had a really great year. This is kind of the topping on the cake, and it's only May. So we've actually, for the first time, been able to purchase our own equipment to welcome more people into the sport who have been affected by a cancer diagnosis.
And how many people have been involved in Road to Recovery so far?
We have a steady group of over 20, and then we've had people dipping in and out as well. Some people come and it's just not for them, unfortunately, and other people come and have to leave for a period if they're going through cancer treatment. But our goal is to continue to grow the program because, unfortunately, there is a continuing need for it.
Okay, but it's a unique and it's kind of a unique to Galway, but not absolutely, but it is to Galway to actually take the resource that we have with the river and with the rowing clubs that are there and some of the equipment in terms of doing it. It's absolutely brilliant. Congratulations to you and to the rest of the Road to Recovery crew, and that is a crew. I'm going to hand over to the Mayor and Mayor.
Robert, congratulations to yourself and your group. It's I suppose when I read the nomination, I was blown away by the work that's been done. And you mentioned 20 regular people taking part. I'm sure that will grow after this evening. I think it's fantastic what you do, and you empower people to get the confidence back and to go out. And that well-being that you mentioned as well is hugely important. And I'd look to thank Galway Rowing Club as well. I think they've played a huge part in what you do as well. And I wish you well going forward. I think we can all unfortunately recognise and know somebody who's gone through the cancer treatment. And to have this on our own doorstep in Galway is certainly unique and special. So I thank you on behalf of myself and my colleagues and wish you well going forward.
On behalf of the whole group at Road to Recovery, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Robin. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're now going to move on to the Children and Youth Support Award. And we're going to go to Tommy Flaherty, who is on the adjudication panel, and he represents Galway City Partnership in that particular guise. So over to Tommy.
This year's winner emulates the tremendous work being done for children and youth support in the city.
Not too bad.
Many people give of their time to support participation in recreation and other activities by children and young people across the city. This award recognises that work throughout 2020.
So the nominees in the Children and Youth Support Award are the Galway Childline Listening Volunteer Team, and they're nominated for their outstanding commitment to the Childline service, in particularly during the last year. They give their time to listen to young people. They listen to young people, some of them experience the toughest of times. They offer a confidential, non-directive and non-judgmental approach-free service 24 hours a day, every day. Next nominees are Our Ladies Boys Club, the youth club element of Boys Club. They're a solely volunteer-led club for their tireless work over a number of not just years but decades at this stage, providing services for the youth of Galway City and giving them a place to come, play and make lifelong friendships. And the final nominees in this category of children and youth support are a trio, Gail Tanyan, Sarah Tanyan and Vanessa Walsh, for the work they do with the Q Club Variety Group. They encourage, they support, they contribute and have done over the years to the Q Club, a voluntary run variety youth club, which used to be based in Newcastle, and I think it still is, aimed at young people from age between 10 and 18. They meet every week with activities including singing, dancing, comedy and drama. So I'll hand over to the Mayor, who will announce the recipients of the Children and Youth Support Award.
Thanks, Gary. People from all walks of life come together in Galway each week with a common cause: to help ensure every child and young person always has somewhere to turn. Volunteers listen to, support and empower children across Galway City who make contact in relation to all sorts of issues that may be on their minds. During 2020, everything was experienced more intensely by children and young people. With the support, professionalism and active listening service provided by our recipient, all children and young people were provided with a safe space where they were free to share how they were really feeling. They were not judged or not told what to do. This service is often referred to as a sanctuary or safe haven because of the informal and friendly atmosphere the volunteers provide. The recipients give of their time each week to listen. They're always there to support children and young people, no matter what might be on their mind. They are trained and ready for whatever a child or young person might have to tell them. For their dedication and for always being there when they're needed, in confidence, and for empowering children and young people to strengthen their resilience so they can cope with the challenges that come their way in life. The 2020 Children and Youth Support Award goes to Galway Childline Listening Volunteer Team. Congratulations to all involved.
Congratulations to the listening volunteers of Galway Childline, and I think I'm joined by Kathleen O'Riordan. Kathleen, how are you?
Hi, hello there. Sorry,
Congratulations.
Thank you so very much.
I know you're representing, is it what, over 30 different volunteers?
I am indeed, yeah. So we have a team currently in Galway of 33 volunteers who attend every week for a 4-hour shift in the unit. and they attend every single week of the year, even like Christmas Day, all of the core days over Christmas and New Year. We have volunteers in here, you know, running the childline service, just being here, you know, to listen to the young people of Ireland. Yeah, so it's such an honour to be here, you know, on behalf of them this evening to accept this award. And I just want to thank you so much for highlighting the work that they do and also the service, you know.
It can be tough, can't it? You know, kind of the people involved here and the people who are being honoured tonight are volunteers. Some of what they hear, a lot of what they hear is very tough to hear from anyone, but particularly to hear from children and from young people. There's a particular sort of spirit you kind of need to be a volunteer there, don't you?
Well, that's, I suppose, one of the strengths really is the support here within the unit. So, you know, like a volunteer is never on their own. We always have a team of 3 or 4 people on together, and just the support, you know, that they have amongst themselves and the rapport is just fantastic. Yeah. So that definitely does help them to cope with what they are hearing. And I suppose it isn't all, you know, like we do get very tough calls, and there's no doubt about that. And we do hear from young people in very tough circumstances. But maybe what a lot of people don't realise is that we're also there to listen to all young people, you know, across the board. And maybe they may not have anything particular going on for them at the moment, but no one knows, you know, when that might turn for them. So by building up a relationship with the service, maybe contact when things aren't going, they have somewhere to turn then, you know, when things might get a bit tough for them. But the volunteers themselves are just an absolutely fantastic group of people. It's such a pleasure, you know, working here with them. Yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations. Before we go, Mayor.
Kathleen, good evening and congratulations on the award, and please pass on my regards to all the team there.
I will do. Thanks ever so much.
I know the last year or so have been quite tough for everybody, and as somebody who's involved in youth groups and sports groups in particular for the last 20 years now, I've seen the anxiety levels rise amongst young children in the last 12 months, and your service has been invaluable. So I suppose on my own behalf, on behalf of my own colleagues, but on behalf of all parents in Galway as well, I want to thank you and your team very, very much.
And thank you so much. And thank you so much to all of the volunteers who come in, to the unit. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Kathleen O'Riordan on behalf of Prendergast, the editor for Galway Bay FM News.
This award celebrates and acknowledges the work done by people under the age of 25 as volunteers to improve our city both now and for the future. Volunteering gives young people the opportunity to get organised and to demonstrate what they can do while helping people who can benefit from their support.
Thank you, Bernadette. And our nominees in this category are Cian Mortimer, Elizabeth Small, who's nominated for her inspiring commitment, her endless hours, months and years, and her community first response, which has and will continue to make a real difference in our city. Hannah Aris for her tireless, selfless, active volunteering and enabling fellow students still feel a sense of involvement and purpose throughout the last year. Jointly, Hannah Moran and Scott Moran, who nominated the volunteer duo, responding particularly to the community call in a proactive way to support and care particularly for their elderly neighbours. Kirsty Oron for her significant contribution, hard work, commitment and to equality, and outstanding contributions to mental and physical health through her community volunteering and through sport. Fifth nominees in this category are the NUI Galway students of the Galway Simon Community Initiative, which is a bit of a tongue twister, but they're NUIG students who volunteer with the Simon community. There's 3 student groups at NUIG who have established fundraising initiatives that span the entire 2020 year, the wider community, and they raised funds and they gave hundreds of hours to organise events, innovate new fundraising types of event, and they worked hard to represent the Simon community when called on. And my apologies, I think that's the list of them. Am I missing out on a nominee? No, I think that's the end of them. Yes. So I'll hand over to the Mayor to announce the winners of these categories.
This year, more than most, it is important to recognise the young people who have risen to the test in what has been an extremely challenging year for communities. Volunteering gives young people the opportunity to get organised and to demonstrate what they can do while helping others who might be worse off than themselves. The recipients of this award, through their volunteering, provide support and encouragement to people who are at risk of isolation and exclusion within their own community. Throughout the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, they've shown great enthusiasm, commitment and drive for their positivity, generosity and spirit, and for their endless helpfulness and for having a positive impact on their community, and for their commitment to ensuring those who are elderly and vulnerable within our community were supported throughout COVID-19. The 2020 Young Volunteer of the Year Award goes to a very special brother and sister, Scott and Hannah Moran. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor. And Scott and Hannah Moran are the winners. I think they're joining us. There they are. How are you?
Good now.
Hi.
Scott and Hannah, you're in Shantala.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Now, we mentioned it here earlier on. The community call out came out in March of last year. The two of you guys kind of responded almost immediately, and it's a very kind of mixed area in Shantala, but you responded particularly to help your elderly neighbours.
Yeah. You see, we kind of do some activities together as family. Like, see, I do like the coaching and all that, and Hannah does the art, and like for me, the coaching is like the special needs kids for Corinthians, and I feel help and the communion. Yeah. Sorry.
Whoever's outside that door, could you tell them to shush that you're live in front of the whole of Galway? Anyway, Scott, continue. Go on there.
Well, how do I put this? It's just we like to help out a lot when people are needing help and having difficulty and all that. So whenever people are needing, we just like to help out, basically, and all that.
One of the key things you do is, it's a very simple thing. You went and got the paper for people.
Say that again?
You went and got the papers for people every day.
Yes.
And delivered the papers.
Mm.
Hannah, is there anything in particular that you got involved? Was the brother dragged you along, or you were going to do it anyway?
No, we both really just wanted to join in and help out. No one really dragged people along. We just kind of wanted to help out with everyone in the community and everything. So we just
one of the key things you do is, it's a very simple thing. You went and got the paper for people.
Yes.
Say that again?
You went and got the papers for people every day. Okay. We're having a problem with the audio here. So listen, Hannah and Scott, I'm just going to, we'll wrap it up here, but I'll leave it to the Mayor just to congratulate you again.
Yeah, Hannah, Scott, good to see you both. Congratulations on your award up there in Shantala. I know it's a very strong and a very, very good community in Shantala. I know you certainly played your part over the last number of months. I know speaking to some elderly people up there in particular who are not on social media, not online. Just even the simple thing, as Gary said, in making sure they got their daily papers and so on, played a huge part in their mental well-being as well. So on behalf of myself and my colleagues again, thank you for the work you've done with your local community in Shantala. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done, guys, and enjoy the €500 and the award that are coming your way.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. And now we move to the final category award of the evening. And this is the Environmental Sustainability Award. And to introduce the award and the background to that, we call on Donica Foley from the Galway Volunteer Centre.
If there's been any silver lining on the cloud that has been 2020, it is that many of us in Galway City have reconnected with the natural beauty around us. The volunteers in this category have shown a care and love for our animal and plant neighbours. And building on Galway City's European Green Leaf designation of 2018, they inspire us by sharing their appreciation of nature, but by also reminding us about the importance of protecting it.
Thank you, Donncha. We have 6 nominees in this category. The first nominee is Brendan Smith, the former winner of a Mayor's Award, and he's nominated again this year for the energy, the long hours of volunteering that Speedy puts in terms of protecting the environment, ensuring that people of all ages are engaged in all sorts of ways, particularly around issues around diversity in the green spaces in our city. Katrina O'Reilly is nominated for her commitment to helping homeless cats in Galway and a dedication to giving every cat a chance to live in a safe and healthy and happy life. Also nominated, again in this category under environmental sustainability, is Galway Cat Rescue. The National Park City Galway champions are nominated for progressing the designation and looking to achieve a greener, bluer, healthier, safer, beautiful, sustainable, equitable environment where people will value, benefit from, and are strongly connected to the rest of nature. Paula Cusack is nominated for willingly giving up her time to keep Galway litter-free, going about it quietly and diligently, empowering and inspiring others with her love of our city and nature. The final nominees are St. Patrick's Primary School for their extraordinary contribution and commitments towards protecting and enhancing our environment through their Connecting Nature with Wellbeing theme, which runs throughout the school. They build on the environmental work that has been taking place in the school since 2019, and they emphasise and showcase how important the garden is to everyone's health and well-being. So I'll hand over to the Mayor to tell us who are the winners of the Environmental Sustainability Award for 2021. Mayor.
Thanks, Gary. The recipients of this award recognise the importance of working together, sharing an appreciation of nature and the wonderful benefits that it can not only provide us, but also the importance of protecting it for the future. During 2020 and 2021, they've shown us that learning does not end at the classroom door, showing us that the healing power of nature really is limitless when it comes to feeling better about ourselves. For their dedication and commitment to protect, conserve and enhance our environment through their local environmental projects, making a difference to their lives and the lives of others both locally and indeed globally. For working hard to be as green and sustainable as possible, and for your drive and ambition to embed this into the culture now, so that as your school grows, this philosophy grows too. For sowing the seeds to a more mindful way of caring for our environment, the 2020 Environmental Sustainability Award goes to St. Patrick's Primary School. Congratulations.
Congratulations. The fact that it's my old primary school has absolutely nothing to do with it at all. Jared Conboy, one of the teachers in St. Pat's. Congratulations.
Thanks very much, Gurmila Mogul and Vera. We're absolutely delighted. It was a great honour to get nominated in the first place. So to actually win the award is a fantastic, great buzz for the children, now the parents who were involved, all the staff. It's a huge honour. When we started out the project, we didn't have much space where we'd have limited space for a garden. So what we did was we used lots of containers, recycling, plenty of enthusiasm from the children helped as well, of course, and we built on it from there.
You involved the whole school across all the different classes, the different years.
We did indeed. So everyone from the preschooler involved right up as far as 6th class. So it was lovely for the children. In a sense, it was created for the children by the children. So we had pupils bringing in as many plastic bottles at my door every second day to use as many greenhouses. We use composting. And I recognise some faces here this evening. We work with Mary there in the Galway City Swan Rescue, and we often grow a lot of our food for her, for the swans and the ducklings there that she takes into her sanctuary. So I'll be talking to Mary in the next few weeks about our new produce that'll be ready for her.
You've got some strange and interesting projects. The garden is a fairly obvious one, and in terms of what you're doing with the garden, tell me what's meditation on Zoom, Because I could probably do with a little bit of it now.
Well, during the lockdown, it was a stressful time for kids and parents. So what we did is we had meditations on Zoom, which at first was tricky to get organised, but once everyone got used to the routine, it was lovely for the children. It was a year where we really tried to prioritise well-being. So to have the meditation as part of the homework was brilliant. And we added some gardening into the homework as well, of course. So it was nice, I think, for the parents that the children were able to swap the school bags for wheelbarrows for a few hours in the evening.
And tell me, what's the kindness shelter?
So that was another area that we had in the backyard. It was just a vacant space that wasn't being used. So we cleared it up and we put a little roof over it, and the children painted up the benches. So we have an area now, kindness shelter, where everyone has to be nice to each other and kind words are spoken, and it means that we get to spend more time outside when it's so important these days.
All right, well, listen, it's a brilliant projects across the whole school, led, I think, by yourself, but supported by both the staff and, as you say, by the school pupils from I love it that they're there from the preschool right up to 6th class. Like the lads at 6th class are involved as well. Sorry, that's the way I used to talk when I was in 6th class in St. Pat's. I'll hand over to the mayor.
Cahorjagus, Jarlath, I know you were nominated last year and you missed out on an award, but so this year, congratulations, you got the award this year. I was struck by, I suppose, when I saw a school nominated, I kind of had to look and think, because obviously schools were closed for quite a number of months of the year. So I read through the nomination and from kind of doing my own research on it and hearing again even this evening, I thought it was remarkable with the garden in particular that obviously the kids could not be in school, so they actually decided to take parts of the garden home and make sure it still grew, and then brought it back in again. So I think the innovation there and the positivity that was there was no barrier that could not be broken down. And that's a huge message that goes out to young children across the city, that, look, obstacles are there, but they can be broken down. So, look, well done. It's a very popular winner, I'm sure, and pass on my regards to the kids.
Thanks very much, Mr. Mayor. We're absolutely delighted. I'm sure the first question I'll be asked tomorrow morning is, teacher, do we have homework tonight because of this? So you'll all be very...
Well, you can take it now when we're live. There's no homework for anyone in St. Pat's tomorrow.
The mayor takes on the secular role of the bishop. I don't know if he can give out half days, but he can give a homework off night. Thanks very much, Jarlath.
Thanks very much, everyone. Okay.
So that's it, effectively. That's the 9 category winners across the different mayors' awards. Just to recap for people who might have just dropped in or whatever, but starting here at 6 o'clock. The winners in the different categories were under the Arts, Culture, Heritage and Kursi Gaelga Award. The winner was Dr. Chaoshang Zhang. Under the Resident and Local Areas Awards, the winner was Martina Murray. Under the Community Service and Social Inclusion Individual Award, Mary Joyce Lynn was the winner. The Community Service and Social Inclusion Award Group Award went to the Galway Volunteer Centre Community Called Shopping Volunteers. The Older Person Volunteer of the Year was jointly shared between Conor Donovan and Martin Crowley for everything they do in Merview. Sports Volunteer of the Year is the Road to Recovery. The Children and Youth Support Award went to Galway Childline Listening Volunteer Team. The Young Volunteers of the Year were brother and sister Scott and Hannah Moran. And the Environmental Sustainability Award went to the pupils of St. Patrick's Primary School. And they're the 9 category winners. Now, usually there would be an overall Volunteer of the Year award, and had been for the last number of years. But I'm going to hand over to the mayor, and he's going to elaborate about the particular year that we've had and the challenges that have arisen, and how we and how he as mayor wants to celebrate that this year. Mayor.
Thank you, Gary. Distinguished guests, nominees, award winners, ladies and gentlemen. As Mayor of Galway City, I would like to thank you all for attending the presentation ceremony of the 18th Annual Galway City Mayor's Awards. Volunteers have always been at the very core of Galway City. They go about their work tirelessly and bring so much to the community spirit of the city, without ever asking for credit or recognition. But we must celebrate them and give them the credit they truly deserve. And that is why we were here this evening. 2020 has been a year like no other. Maybe the longest year many of us have ever experienced. In difficult times, the award winners and the nominees for this year's Mayor's Awards have shown the critical combination of leadership and kindness to keep Galway and its citizens safe, healthy and active. In the midst of the global pandemic, in particular, when people have had to focus on their own safety and the safety of their families and friends, to still have the time to give to others shows a real strength of character and is something that must be widely celebrated. So to all our winners and nominees, I'd now like to offer a huge congratulations to you and encourage everyone to give them one more Bullibus more. These individuals and groups of nominees reflect the attitude and togetherness of the people of Galway City. In this, people have shown their commitment to their neighbours, their communities, and their fellow citizens like they've never had to before. Our data shows that in Galway, when needed, more people than ever stepped up throughout 2020 and asked the question, what can I do? Every single one of us made diligent efforts to adhere to tough restrictions for the protection of others. Those who could gave their neighbours a hand with essential shopping and deliveries, and work together, both now and into the future which lies ahead, which will bring its own opportunities and indeed challenges. The voluntary effort made by so many in 2020 shows that we can meet these challenges and we can create an even better Galway out of this tough period. I look forward to playing my part in this great city of ours and will strongly encourage each of you to do the same. If volunteering is something that has been at the back of your mind for quite a while, why not take the first steps now and find out more about the options that are out there for you. I hope this evening has given you a small taster of the breadth of opportunities that exists out there to help others across Galway City. While traditionally this ceremony has been exclusively about the fantastic work of Galway City's volunteers, it was clear that from the year of heroic efforts of frontline workers over the past 12 months or so, this could not go unrecognised. When we look back over the toughest times of lockdowns and restrictions, with worrying news and poignant images constantly on our screens, it is clear that things would have been much, much worse if not for the tireless work of our frontline heroes, who have worked round the clock to protect the most vulnerable members of society. And they continue to do this now with the rollout of the vaccine. Many of us made the move to working from home throughout the pandemic, but for those on the frontline services, this was never an option. Hours and hours of commitment and dedication, of blood, sweat and tears were devoted to ensuring that the people of Galway had a fighting chance during one of its toughest periods in history. We can never repay them for their efforts, but we can all now offer them a huge, huge thank you. While we've not been able to meet in person this year, I'm delighted that we have been able to meet virtually. I would like to thank all those involved in making this evening's event possible. To the executive and staff of Galway City Council, especially those who I know put hours of dedication and hard work into making sure Gary and I had the easy job here this evening. Martina Morgan, Rory Lehman, Angela Breslin, Stephen Healy, Conor Mcmahon and Emma Johnston. I thank you all sincerely. I also want to thank Gary Mcmahon to my left for his professionalism this evening as MC, but equally his commitment to these awards each and every year. Thank you, Gary. I want to thank my fellow councillors for continuously supporting the Mayor's Awards, to the local media for publicising and promoting the awards, and to the people who have gone to the trouble of nominating individuals and groups who are here and honoured this evening. Each of you nominated is a winner in your own right, and you should be very, very proud that somebody has gone to the effort to put your name forward this evening. Please continue to do the amazing work you are doing within your community and for the people of Galway. I also want to thank the judging panel who you met earlier on the videos, and they supported me throughout this award ceremony. Ryan Barrett, Councillor Nan McNeilis, Tommy Flaherty, Elaine Harvey, Bernadette Prendergast, Donica Foley and Nicola Tierney. Thank you all very much. It was a difficult process in deciding the winners in each category, and I thank you for your dedication to that process, as well as your wonderful videos as we've just seen this evening. Thank you to the staff here at Sound to Light in Lisbon and Heavy Man Films for their guidance and creativity, but making this evening visually special. And speaking of visually special, this now brings me to the Community Spirit video. In planning this year's award ceremony, it was universally agreed that words could not adequately express the gratitude we all have for the inspiring contributions of volunteers and frontline workers these past few months. And that something special was needed to show just how much their efforts have been appreciated, valued, and indeed cherished. This video we're about to show will showcase and highlight the breadth of community spirit and solidarity that has been shown over the past year and continues very strongly, making a significant impact on the quality of all communities across Galway City. So once again, I'd like to offer my massive congratulations to all the winners and nominees. And without further ado, to all the volunteers and frontline workers who have given us so much, this video is for you.
Like many of us, for me, this last year has been tough. It was hard coming to terms with the changes COVID brought. I used to visit friends, take a stroll in the evenings, and at the weekend I'd have my family around. But that couldn't happen. They brought me shopping and checked in on me a few days a week. I got to know them, and it was a great comfort.
I'm here to give something back.
I'm here to provide healthy meals.
To improve people's lives.
I'm here to give a hand. We're here to help.
To share my skills.
To keep you safe.
I'm here to listen.
To ask, how ya?
To bring a smile.
We're here for the community.
To keep you fit.
To bring you home. To provide an escape.
To bring joy with karate.
To empower the youth.
I'm here to build the love of maths.
For teamwork, respect, enjoyment, discipline and sportsmanship.
Is bralum a bheith múna gaeilge.
We're here to grow.
We are here to share.
To save lives.
I'm here for arts in the community.
To play our part.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I hope you enjoy anyway.
Oh, nice hot chocolate.
I am here, I am safe, and I am happy because of you.
I think you'd all agree that was a fabulous production and gives a small insight into the Trojan work done by so many. As mentioned, we can never repay you for your dedication and service, but we can and we should recognise it. As we say goodbye for now, please keep safe, and thank you all for joining us this evening. Long go fóill.